Hey folks, welcome back to KKR Renewables Metal Recovery channel. Today I'm going to show you how to turn this material into a gram of gold. No acids, very little time, and not much effort, to be frank. This is truly the fastest way to get metals back into the production stream. You know, here on our channel, we really want to focus on getting these metals out of the landfills and back into the production stream. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. One way is the way that we've been doing it and we've been showing on the channel. And that is to scrap materials, turn the materials that we can't really process ourselves over to the larger refiners, and take the materials that we can process ourselves and turn those into precious metals, turn those into aluminum, turn those into tin, steel, and then take those metals to either recycling centers as clean metals, or in the case of gold and silver, store those for ourselves. Today we're going to talk about how to sell equipment that you may have scrapped out that may still be of value in the production stream as it is. There is no doubt that you will get much more money than you can reclaim the scrap value of the metals inside them. I mean, the work that these materials can do is worth far more than the value of the scrap material. That's something that I don't know why, but I just didn't really think about that much when I began this scrapping journey and the metal recovery journey, is that when you look at the raw materials that go into these parts that we scrap and we take apart and we burn and we crush and we mesh screen and we gravity separate, all to get the gold and silver and palladium and other precious metals out of them. When you think about what this chip can do, it can store 4 gig of memory. When you think about what this processor can do, it's an i5 6500. It's older, but it still processes at 3.2 gigahertz, which is pretty fast. It's an Intel Core i5, so it still has value. It can still do work. These memory sticks, we've got 8 16 gig sticks. We've got 5 8 gig sticks. They can hold so much information and they can do work that is really valuable. All these parts can do work, and that work is much more valuable than the scrap metals that they are made of. So I'm going to show you today how to turn that potential work into gold. If I were to try to convert these materials into gold and silver, I might get a 15th or a 20th of a gram of gold, and I might get about the same silver. I don't really know that for a fact, but the amount of material that I have to process to get 1 gram of gold is significant. Historically, these RAM BGAs might have 2 to 2.5 grams of gold in them per pound. I've processed a couple of them myself, and I've gotten 1.6 grams of gold in from processing these. But there are a ton of these little chips in a pound of BGA RAM chips, and I only got 1.6 grams of gold from those. I had to use a lot of acids. I had to use a good amount of time. I had to create waste. I had to create dangerous fumes. I had to get protective gear to protect from those dangerous fumes. And while I absolutely think that's worth it, the amount of material that I had to process was far more than this is. And that's just the BGA chips. What about the gold fingers? So historically you get 3 to 5 grams of gold from these gold fingers. And that's only if they're really good gold fingers. The gold fingers that produce the most gold are the shiniest. You can almost see your reflection in them. These are not those. These are not those types of gold fingers. you can run your finger across them, and there is definitely raised ridges. You can feel how thick the gold fingers are. But when you look at it, they're not very reflective. They're not very big. So I would say these are definitely going to be on the lower side of maybe 3 grams per pound. If I were to cut these off and weigh them up, they would only be a couple of grams themselves. So maybe 12 grams, I'm not exactly sure, but they're a whole lot less than a pound. So when it comes to cutting these apart and processing them, I believe we're going to find that they're definitely worth far more sold as is, so that potential work that they can produce can be used. And it makes me feel good to know that I'm not tearing apart and destroying equipment that is still of value. It makes me feel good to know that when I'm done selling these, whoever buys them will be a large redistributor of used computer equipment. I'm sure they've got buyers lined up already for some of this stuff. It makes me feel good to know that these will be back in a server, or be back in a PC, or be back in a laptop, or be back in a PC. It makes me feel good to know that these things will be used again, and their life will be extended. And then they'll come back into the stream when they're of no value any longer, and we can then scrap them, and we can then reclaim their precious metals. All right, how do we do this? There's a couple different ways that we can do it. We can go onto eBay and we can try to sell these on eBay. Well, if we go to eBay and sell these, it's gonna take a while. I've tried to sell these on eBay, and if we go to my eBay channel, and I select what I'm selling, I look at my active listings. I'm gonna cover here for a minute. If I look at my active listings, I've got these for sale for $140. I got the price that I was gonna sell those for from looking at other Hynix 16 gig PC2130 DDR4 memory, and they're not selling, and these more than likely won't sell either. There's only been 11 views of these, and I've gotten no messages, I've gotten no questions about them, I've gotten no offers. I just put them up for sale maybe 10 days ago, and nothing so far. So one of the things that you want to make sure that you do is, if you're going to try to resell equipment that can be used again, you want to sell it fast enough and quick enough so that it's still valuable. You don't want time to pass by so that these will lose their value. So how do I do that? If eBay's not working for me, what I do is I go to a site called SellGPU. Let's go to SellGPU. I'm gonna pop this off. So SellGPU is a site that I found maybe, I don't know, a year ago or so. And what you can do with SellGPU is you can sell your older equipment to them, and it's really easy. So what you do is you come to their page. It's www.sellgpu, as in graphics processing unit.com, and you'll notice that the SellGPU is oriented with the different types of electronic waste or electronic equipment that you want to get back into the production stream. And based on the options you select, there'll be additional drop downs here that you can go ahead and drop down and select based on what type of equipment you're trying to sell. All right, so we're trying to sell RAM here. So we select RAM, and we have options: desktop, gaming, laptop, server, Intel Optane, IC. How do we know what these are? I know what they are. I know what they came out of, but you may not. You may be getting memory from different channels. You may take them out of equipment themselves, and you know what the equipment was used for. Or you may also experience what I experienced with these particular RAM sticks. Let's go ahead and look those up. I took these out of a server. So I went ahead and looked these up, and they came out of a server, but based on the serial number and model number, but based on the model number to the T, these are desktop memory. I'm going to Star Micro Incorporated.net to get my information. I went to the Hynix. I tried to go to the Hynix website. I tried to figure out from the manufacturer exactly what these were, but I was unable to do that. I went to multiple sites and they all said the same thing. This is desktop memory. So desktop memory is selling better on SellGPU now than server memory. So I'm pretty happy about that. I can sell these as desktop memory. So let's go ahead and we're gonna choose desktop. Generation. These are PC4. You can see right here where I'm pointing, it says PC4. These are, my only option is all, right, for the PC, for desktop memory. And the size is 16 gig. Quantity, we're gonna go with 8. And then you need to put a valid email and phone number in here. The reason you do that is because as soon as you add to cart, they are ready to add you as a customer, and you have to give them a valid email address so they can send you a copy of the transaction and perhaps a copy of a mailer that they can send to you. There's a couple different options. We'll get into those in a little bit. So for now, we'll put in KKR Renewables at gmail.com, and we'll put in our phone number. All right, and from here, you also need to select whether or not these devices are fully functional and undamaged. And these are. They came out of working equipment. The equipment that we took them out of was decommissioned. It's no good anymore, but it was still working when we took it out. So we're gonna go ahead and get the instant quote for these. Instant quote for these is $70.40 for 8 of these sticks. So we're already almost to a gram of gold. Let's see how much a gram of gold actually is. So here we see on Kitco.com, gold's last sale was $2,656.70 per troy ounce. So how do we determine what an individual gram of gold is? An individual gram of gold is 31.1 grams per troy ounce. So if we go back over here to our calculator and we choose $2,656.70 divided by 31.1 grams, we get $85.42 per gram of gold. We're already at $70.40 with just these sticks. So let's go ahead. We will click on add another item, and we're gonna add RAM. This time we're gonna sell this PC3 4 gig SO-DIMM stick. You see it's DDR3. This came out of a laptop. So we're gonna choose laptop SO-DIMM. We're gonna go PC3. We're gonna choose 4 gig, quantity 1, get instant quote, a whopping 55 cents, right? but it's still 55 cents. We'd still get more for selling it to a reuser like this than we would be trying to get the gold and precious metals out of the stick there. So now we're going to add another item. All these sticks came out of PCs, so we're going to go ahead and sell them as PC RAM sticks. RAM, let's see, we've got 8 gig, 8 gig, 8 gig, and 8 gig. So we have 5 8 gig RAM sticks. So we're going to come down here, we're going to choose desktop, generation, that they're all DDR4 or PC4. And we're going to select 8 gig, and we have 5 of those. $22 for these 5 sticks. We are now well over a gram worth. Let's go ahead and add this CPU. This is an Intel Core i5 CPU. It was taken out of a working desktop. So we're gonna go ahead and say desktop CPU. When you click on the type of equipment that you're gonna resell, the drop-down options will change accordingly on SellGPU. They will list things that they will not sell. So like I know, I've gone in here before, they will not buy back Intel Core, the older Intel i3 Core CPUs. I don't know why they list them here, except that maybe sometimes they do have a demand for them, so they just leave them out here. That's just a little tidbit for you. This is a really old i5 6500, so it's way down here on the list. All right, condition, used. It is fully functional. We have 1, and it's worth $6.60. Okay, so we've added the 8 16 gig RAM sticks. We've added the 5 8 gig RAM sticks, the 1 SO-DIMM, and the Intel Core i5 CPU. Gonna go ahead and hit checkout. $99.55. So we are officially over what a gram of gold is selling, is purchasing for right now. $85.42. So we're about $14 to the better than trying to process these things. And we're already done with most of the work here. We just need to now determine how we want to be paid. I already have an account with SellGPU, so I want to go ahead and log into my account. But when you're doing this, you'll choose bank check, PayPal, Zelle, ACH, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USD digital coin. I can tell you the bank check is going to be your slowest way to get your money. The ACH transfer is going to be among the fastest. Zelle will be fast as well. You'll go through here and you'll put in your name, your street address, your state, your phone number, and then you're going to choose how you want them to give you the shipping information. You have the options to email a label, mail and print a return label for you, or send you a box and a prepaid shipping label. Email is going to be the fastest. If you're like me, you have tons of boxes around, so you're going to want to choose that option. I always choose email me a label, and I just use one of my own boxes and one of my own packing materials. It comes with standard insurance up to $100. That's all I really need. And then here we have, please send me order updates via text messages. They will send you updates every single day if you haven't shipped the information back yet, if you haven't shipped the equipment to them yet. They will send you reminders. They'll send you encouragement to continue on and to be able to trust them and to sell to them. It's really nice. It's nice to get those reminders on a daily basis. You have to click on I have read terms and conditions, and then you tap on trade in. And when you tap on trade in and you get all that completed, what you wind up with is they will email you a manifest of what you've sold to them. And you can go through and you can verify what's been sold. I'll just turn this over and I'll show you here. They itemize everything on the manifest that you're going to be shipping back to them. All right, so how do I package these up and get them ready to sell? I'm not going to go through the whole process with you because it's really, my process is really pretty simple. All I do is I use paper towels and bubble wrap. I will take these individual sticks and I will wrap them up in paper towels like so. And then I will tape them so they're nice and tight. What you really want to do is you want to make sure that you do not leave any room for them to jostle around, vibrate back and forth inside the packaging. You want to make sure that it stays nice and tight. So what I'll do after I wrap these up in the paper towel, I'll then take some tape and wrap around here nice and tight. And then I'll wrap them up in standard bubble wrap and ship them off. I will choose ACH payment, and I will get my money as soon as they get the equipment and they test it out. They will test everything out. If something doesn't work, I understand they'll ship it back to you. I've never had that happen. But that's good to know that they'll send it back to you, as that's what I have heard. Okay, folks, that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.